Hey, what's happening, everybody out there in the XRP community? Welcome back to Investment Perspectives. Today I wanted to talk about Ripple and the 200 partnerships and some liquidity questions. So let's get into this thing. All right, so we know that Ripple has the 200 partnerships that they've been touting to all of us. Of course, we don't know who they are because they're almost all of them are under NDA agreements, right? So we're not going to hear any of that until they're ready to go. We've been seeing massive amounts of XRP being moved around, and I understand that to be OTC market that we're seeing that come from. So it begs many, many questions from there. One would wonder, how much are the partners paying for OTC XRP? Because we don't have that information. And obviously we can't see what everyone's getting. And the question there is, how much out of the 55 billion is actually remaining? Is there 55 billion remaining in escrow? I mean, do we actually know that for certain today? I mean, I don't know. And if somebody out there does, feel free, please contribute, in the comments at the end of the video, because, that's what this is all about. So let's move ahead here. So there's many questions here. So how much are the partners paying for XRP over the counter market? We don't know. There's another question. Are they paying for it, or is it gifted to them? Wouldn't it be a legal issue if Ripple was the ones actually watering down the market? I mean, I know that they have, a release every month out of escrow, which has obviously been, how would you say? I guess obviously it's been by design that's in there. And they had some issues early on, if you remember, about the fact that they did hold so many, and that's how they ended up taking the XRP and putting that in escrow and getting it on a time lock release, and that they couldn't touch it and all of those things. So I wonder, because the incentive program, and by the way, before I go any further, I got to give a big shout out to Savvy XRP. You rock. I mean, sent me some fantastic information on market maker, liquidity provider information, and incentive program information, early days from Ripple. So Savvy, bringing it home, man. We really appreciate you here. And I want to give a big shout out too to my biggest brother, Ralph. And shout out to my brother Gene. He's not holding any XRP. He ain't down for the globalization. But he just recently moved to South Carolina, and I want to give him a big shout out too. But I got to give a really, really big shout out to my big brother Ralph, because we do a lot of talking. He does an enormous contribution to this channel, and you guys don't even get to see it, because I just wear him out every time I can get a hold of him about anything that we're talking about on this channel. And he's a really, really smart mind, and it's just really great that we're able to have that back and forth. So that's been just as fun as talking to you guys and having it here, and he really makes a huge contribution to the channel. So shout out to him. And one more real quick one I got to give out to my music brother Jeremy, who I talked to tonight, holding some XRP, feeling a little frustration. Hang in there, brother. I don't know what's coming, but I feel like it's very good news. I'm not a financial advisor, but I do believe that. All right, so anyway, so let's get on to it, back into it. Ripple, early days, and they do now, but there was a document that was shared with me by Savvy XRP, and if he gives the go-ahead, I will go ahead and put it under the link in the comments. It's an incentive program from Ripple, and they talk about incentivizing their partners with XRP. Well, I'm just wondering if it's a situation where it could be gifted instead of bought, because that way, I do know it's somewhere in the incentive program they may be required or asked to put coins back into the market to help hold the market down until they're actually everything's all in place for it to take off. Now, that may sound funny, but that's where things are. And if you look at what's going on right now, it would certainly lend itself to exactly that, what we're seeing. So let's just entertain it. We're speculating here. We're going out on a limb. We're tearing into this stuff a little bit, wondering if we can get a little more clarity about things. So, all right. So I'm just thinking again, if the partners are holding the XRP that they've been given and maybe asked to like water the market down, put some back every so often so that way the price stays down, and when things go, why would they do that, right? Why would they commit to doing that? Well, for one, I think there's a couple reasons. One, I think Ripple would have some real legal problems if they were the ones watering down their own market in that manner, right? So number two, I'm wondering, when we looked at and I took apart the Miguel Villas, the Ripple drop, and he explained to us, what did he say to us? He said to us in the video that the speculators won't be the liquidity. The market participants won't even be the liquidity. The liquidity will come from real businesses using that for liquidity, XRP for liquidity. So when we think of that, what I took from that and what we talked about in that video is the notion that if enough people use it, it's created value. If we just think of oil for a second, what was oil really worth before the car was made, the combustible engine, right? So look at the contribution that item made to that commodity and what it did for it. Now, loosely, we're looking at 200 partnerships, okay? Much of those in the largest part of the financial sector of the globe. Payment providers that deal with the largest players in the globe, no question, right? Then we look at the fact that the commerce sectors that we're talking about being involved with, Alibaba's, the Amazons, the Walmarts, right? When you look at the major players that are there, which all, by the way, are hung up with the Federal Payments Task Force, right? Because they were all really a part of that panel too. I begin to wonder, will we see a situation, let's face it, there's an economic crisis coming down the pipe, and it seems to be pretty much global, although it does seem to be a little more dire for the U.S. because of the Triffin dilemma, with the dollar also being the global reserve status. I'm beginning to wonder, they've held back 200 partnerships at once. If we understand the fact that where XRP is now in market cap, what we're seeing is a speculator market. That's what the market cap is. This is not what use case is as far as value goes. What we're seeing as far as value currently is what it means to us as retail speculators and holders, right? This is what we have decided on so far. But now, if these 200 partnerships that make these major contributions to the world in these different huge sectors of the globe here in the finance and commerce, if they decide to adopt it and use it all at one time, why would it be all at one time? Because if 20 partnerships came out and started using it, it would only be considered money or something, a unit of value, like gold or money, however you want to see it. It would only be considered that to those 20. Well, that doesn't work. Because the idea of XRP, in one sense, when they talk about globalization, is to provide a currency exchange for third world countries that have either a weak currency or a weak government or both. So that way they can take that currency that doesn't really hardly get them any access within the country they're in, let alone in a global setting, right? They can transfer that over using XRP to either a US dollar or just XRP. And then they can go out into the world and they can buy anything, right? Well, truthfully, XRP needs to be a higher value, and you can't roll it out with just 20 people using it. Because if that's the case, it's only money or value to those 20 people or partnerships. The truth is, it seems to me the further we get down this rabbit hole, if there's 200 partnerships that haven't all come out yet, I think there's a reason for that. I would think, I'm starting to believe more and more every day as we move down the road here, that if this is going to have real value and it's going to provide real liquidity, it's because all of these partners will come forward and begin to use it together. Because that's the only way it can really become a unit of value or money, right? Gold, cryptocurrency, whatever word you want to give for it, money, value, a unit of value. This is what we're talking about. And like I said, I don't know if, and we're completely speculating here because we're all going to find out soon enough. So, who knows? I may make a video that says, man, was I really wrong? But, I just don't know. And the more we get down here, and we've chipped away at this stone quite a bit, I feel like if it's going to roll out and it's going to be something that is really going to do what they say it's going to do, it's going to be so special that they use it for the transactions of the world. We know that the CFTC is going to be working with DLT, the distributed ledger technology, right? We know that the Ripple was the only one on the Federal Payments Task Force to be elected or be on that panel to be voted on that was using DLT at the time, right? That's important to know. Now, it makes sense to me at some point, whether they start out that way using software and then go to the coin for the liquidity. It makes sense. And it makes sense to me on the level that if you and I share a dollar, it's because the whole world agrees that that dollar's worth $1 or whatever it's worth that day at the time, right? And it's the same thing here. And the truth is, Miguel Villas said it right to our face. The real liquidity comes from the business using it. All the businesses that use it. Just like all the cars that need oil. Then you look at the fact that XRP futures have been existing since, I think it was 2016. They're sold out of London all throughout the world, except in the United States. That brings us to a ruling. We still need a ruling. We got a couple things out here legality-wise we're waiting on. There's a few bills being put up. Looks like they're moving pretty quickly. We're still waiting for the SEC to come out and speak on whether it's a security or not a security. And you know what? In that, I wonder if we see a situation where, because I don't believe XRP is a security and I don't think that's an issue. What I wonder if it may be an issue or not is, will Ripple be allowed to hold the remaining $55 billion in escrow? Or will they be made to give up some of that, and will the Federal Reserve and the IMF be there to pick some of it up? I don't know. These are speculative thoughts, but I really think they're worth asking. I don't think this is like too far off the beaten path. We've been down here a long time looking around. And at this point, because they have so many partnerships and they haven't given us anything, right? Nothing. Swell Conference, they gave us Qualux and Western Union, right? Which we already knew. So I don't know, guys. I'm looking at this, and it is very exciting to think of that. Oh, and here's another thing too. If the 200 partnerships do roll out at the same time, I don't know that necessarily means some gigantic price, because that could mean they roll them all out at the same time, but maybe they start out processing a certain percentage of their payments, right? There could be some kind of graduation that still takes place within that. So definitely don't want to mislead anybody there. There could be a number of scenarios, and just like it could go to some higher number. So, I don't want to take anything off the table, because they're not putting anything on the table as of yet. So now, let's talk about this. So they could have a ruling possibly that maybe they say that Ripple can't hold that many coins. Now, there also could be a situation too. What if all the partners were to, if they were gifted this stuff, right? Maybe they dedicate back a portion of their Nostro Vostro accounts that they hold as a to be dedicated towards liquidity for XRP pools, right? And if they dedicate a small portion, then the rest of it's theirs, And I would imagine if the economic crisis is really bad as they say it is, and there's no more bailing out the central banks, that the access to that Nostro Vostro money may just be their bailout money. I don't know. I mean, it's something worth thinking about, right? I mean, it really, really is, because everybody's prepping for it. JP Morgan says there's a recession coming, right? I mean, there's been others to say it too. You know, they're not saying it for nothing. You know, they know that they're preparing for it. They're not making cryptocurrency platforms, you know, and jumping on board in the crypto world because it's so rosy over there in stock market land. It's a nightmare over there, and everybody can see that it's all coming down. And they see it better than anybody. That's why they're opening the platforms. By the way, I did make a mistake last video. I was mistaken. The DX.Exchange is not directly affiliated with NASDAQ as I thought when I said in the video. And I want to thank the people that corrected me on that. We got to keep it accurate and concise here. They are using NASDAQ software. And apparently DX.Exchange is based out of Estonia. So still good news that they're using NASDAQ software, but I was mistaking in the fact that NASDAQ is not partnered with them is the correct answer. So, okay, so straightening up that for a second. But getting back to this, because I want to wrap it up here. But you guys, I put a lot out here. Let's jump into this. Let's try to get some clarity. If I've missed something or what have you, I really try to keep a flow about it. But I guess some of the bigger questions is that how much of the 55 billion is left, right? And will Ripple be able to hold on to it? Do the big partners pay for the OTC, or is it gifted to them? And if it's gifted to them, will they be dedicating a portion of their Nostro Vostro accounts to go towards liquidity for XRP as we move forward? And then that gives them access to their liquidity to get their bailout right? I don't know. I mean, am I overreaching? Where are we at here? I don't know, guys. You're going to have to leave some comments. Hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe. We're doing really great. We're close to 3,000 subs. Let's keep this going, guys. It's really great, and I'm looking forward to moving into the new year. So leave some comments, and I'll see you soon. All right, bye.